Now can you see me okay?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much for coming for being here today. So you are running for Jackson County Sheriff. And so for those who don't really may not know you or something, can you just start by introducing yourself a little bit, talking about your background and your career?
Sure. My name is Scott Edwards. I have been in law enforcement here in Jackson County for 30 years. I started out at the Sneads Police Department as a dispatcher back in 1988. I went through the Chipola College Law Enforcement Academy while I was being a dispatcher. There's a little bit of feedback on your end, me. I don't know if that's something we can control.
Yes, let me go ahead and mute myself while you're talking.
Okay. So anyway, went through the Law Enforcement Academy there at Chipola College and became a police officer at Sneads a short time. Was then hired on by Jackson County Sheriff's Office in 1989. I served as a deputy sheriff for many years on the road. I was promoted into investigations into the narcotics section as an investigator. Worked about 5 years in that. Then went to general investigations where I worked any kind of case you can imagine, from thefts right on up to homicides. I left for 1 year and went with the state attorney's office as a law enforcement investigator with them, and decided that was not where I needed to be. I missed the sheriff's office and came back into the investigations division. And when Sheriff Roberts was elected sheriff, I was promoted to be over the patrol division. I was over that for several years, then laterally transferred over to I was supervisor over the criminal investigations division, as well as the narcotics division at that time. And I currently serve as a administrative captain, which entails I'm over dispatch and some administrative staff. So that's kind of, over the years, that's my 30-year career. I've served the citizens of Jackson County during that time, and I want to continue to do that.
Okay, great, thank you. So I guess, why did you decide to run for sheriff this year? And is there anything that you would want to see change about the structure of the department should you get elected, with all the talk of police reform going around in the country?
As far as what now? What was the last?
Just with all the talk about police reform in the country, is there anything that you would want to see change, or anything that you would want to see addressed regarding the Jackson County Sheriff's Office?
Absolutely. Well, number one, I want to serve Jackson County as your sheriff because I've been a public servant for 30 plus years, and I want to continue to do that. As far as the issues going around the country right now, I think locally, we generally have a good rapport with our citizens. I know that there are some issues, and I do want to get involved with those. I think, number one, we have to earn the trust of the citizens that we serve. One thing that I've done over my campaign is we started early on with town hall meetings. And with the exception of about 3 municipalities in the county, we had those meetings in every municipality. And again, I think that's important to get out, especially as a sheriff, but get out in the community and see what the needs and the issues are in those communities. Again, if I'm elected sheriff, we will continue those. But not only will I be there, there will be the deputies that serve that community, those patrol areas that will be there to greet those people and put a name to a face and maybe not necessarily every time you see a deputy, you think, oh my God, they're coming to put me in jail. But these guys are human. The deputies and investigators, are just like you and I. We have our issues, we have our good days, we have our bad days. But I want them to be able to get out there in the community and let the people know who they are, and feel that they can trust them to call upon them, for an issue.
And so I kind of took a look at your website, and I saw that you talked a little bit about building trust in the community as one of your main points. So how exactly would you kind of go about doing that?
Well, again, I think it goes back to the town hall meetings. We will do that. I don't know that it would be feasible to do it monthly, but maybe quarterly, get into each community and have those town hall meetings. Again, we'll have an open door policy. Anybody that wants to see the sheriff can come see the sheriff. But again, I think some other things that go along with earning that trust is I want to be transparent. We will be accountable, and I want to start a junior deputy program. I think that is important for our youth, because again, you can capture that age group from like 12, 13 right on up to 21. And you gain the trust of those individuals at that age, and they're not scared of the police anymore. And it gives them purpose. Some of these kids don't have a father in the home, or even a mother. They may be living with a grandparent. So I think it's important to engage that group and get them involved with us, let them know that we're human. We put our pants on just like everybody else. And, I think that's a step in the right direction for that.
Okay, and I also saw on your website that you wanted to make you wanted to kind of make sure that you hired the right people. And so I guess my question is, how do you plan to do that? Is there kind of like a new hiring process that you would like to implement?
Well, again, when I was over patrol, I had a very active role in the hiring process for road deputies. I think that's important that your command staff people are involved with that. They know the mission of the sheriff's office and the mindset of the sheriff. So I think that's crucial in the interview process, the background process. Again, if we don't want somebody else's problem. If they were a problem at their agency, that either let them go or they resign for whatever reasons, we don't want that. We want people that's qualified, honest, and accountable to the citizens here.
So how will you make sure that you get those people? Again,
I think choosing the right command staff people to make sure those processes are completed. The background investigations, again, I think it goes back to the backgrounds, a thorough background. And if something pops up, we've all made mistakes over our lives. So if it's something minor, we understand that. But if it's somebody else's problem, we don't want them here in Jackson County.
So, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about accountability as well. Jackson County currently has a deputy awaiting trial for fabricating evidence. How would you make sure that doesn't happen in the future?
Well, number one, that's an ongoing criminal investigation. I will not comment on that because of that situation. But again, if someone is doing something of that nature, there will be things in place to alert. The use of force is a big issue right now. Our current CAD program that I was crucial a part of getting that here has things in place that alert the supervisors of use of force issues. So again, I think just that your command staff knowing what's going on, And the supervisors, being on top of those things can eliminate issues.
Okay, and as well, Jackson County also has several unsolved murders, just like any other agency, cold cases. How would you plan to address that?
Well, again, I think we have to look at each case. I have looked at cases in the past. Some of these cases were when DNA was not available. So I think you could go back and, there's new technology dealing with DNA. So again, I think you could go back and pull some of that information and maybe resubmit some information to the lab. Whatever it takes to bring closure, for these families. I think we just have to continue every day to work on those things. Again, some of these cases are volumes of filing cabinets. They're just huge. So I can tell you, trying to look over those cases in the past, it's very time consuming. So we may look at some people that are retired law enforcement that may want to come in and do something like that and just look over files. But again, I think we have to be diligent in that and never give up on that.
Okay. Well, I guess what would be your top 3 priorities, if you were to get elected when you first go in?
So I think the first thing would be, let's get our trust back from the community. I think that's number 1. The number 2 thing I believe would be, and it goes hand in hand with that, but I think get in the community, become part of that, and get the community involved with us. Number 3, I would say put more road deputies on the road. I give the analogy all the time when I'm talking to people out here. 30 years ago when I started, we had 5 road deputies working a shift. 30 years later, we're lucky if we have 5 road deputies working a shift. So things have changed over 30 years, no doubt. But again, the call volume's gone up, and we're still trying to work this county, almost 1,000 square mile county, with the same number of road deputies that we had 30 years ago. And it's just unacceptable. I think I've got some plans in place. There's some positions that we can move to enhance the road. And that's exactly what we'll do.
Can you talk a little bit more about those plans?
Well, we have some positions that over the years have been moved, I would say, from patrol into other areas. And I think those positions can be made into civilian positions, and therefore put those sworn positions back on the road where they belong.
Okay. And my last question, I guess, is how will you, I know on your website you say that drugs in Jackson County, those crimes are often connected to many, many other crimes. So I guess how do you plan to address that issue and I guess crime in general?
Well, I've done that before. I've worked the drug scene. I have supervised the drug unit, and we were one of the most active and aggressive units since its inception. I'm proud of that, proud of the guys that participated in that. But I think we have to get out here every day and fight that battle. If you give someone an inch, they're going to take a mile. So we can't lay down. We have to aggressively target the people that are poisoning our kids. And we will do that. Again, your drug crimes or your drugs relate to your burglaries, your thefts, your domestic violence, your homicides. So we will aggressively target those individuals that are poisoning our streets. So that's how we're going to do that. I want the drug dealers to know that we are out there every day and we're not going to give them a break. I want them looking over their shoulder.
So is it more of a target the drug dealers approach as opposed to, I guess, the users?
Well, again, the users, those people, unfortunately, are addicted to the drug that these pushers are pushing out to them. So I think that's two separate deals. You target the drug dealer, but again, you're going to get those drug users on your traffic stops and things of that nature. But again, you can direct, if the people want that help, you can direct those people to, the treatment facilities and, try to get them the help. But again, they've got to want that help. You can't force it on them. But again, those people are, mothers, fathers, some of them's even grandparents that are addicted to these drugs. And so we want to help those people that want the help. And I think we can accomplish a great deal by assisting them trying to get to these treatment facilities.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I think that's all I have. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Again, I'm a public servant. I have been for 30 plus years. I still want to be that public servant to Jackson County citizens. We will, if I'm elected sheriff, I will definitely be accountable to you. Our staff will be accountable, and we'll make this a safer place for our kids and grandkids.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Mia.